episode 160 of the Thunder Underground podcast. I'm Trent, joined by Jason.
How you doing?
Ready for another one.
Let's do it.
For the 160th time.
God, 160 times. It never gets old.
No. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Several songs to play as well. So, talk and music here for you today. Basically, first thing we're going to talk about here happened almost a month ago.
Yeah.
But if you listened to us last week, you know we kind of were on a almost 3 week break because I got sick, and
yeah.
Even when I got a little better, my voice still sounded like crap. So it took us a while, and it kind of threw us off with a couple things, and then, I don't know, just things in Thunder Underground world have been off kilter for a minute.
Yes, but we're going to right the ship, and, you know, we want to go over HolataFest.
Right.
And, yeah, it was almost a month ago, but we can't not say anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, so, and you know, these things happen. People get sick, and, you know, it just, you know, so we're going to just pick it back up.
Right. Well, and then we tried to do a couple interviews last week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck that, too. Jesus Christ.
And even though we got an episode out last week, you know, with an interview we had done right about the time I started getting sick with Jared James Nichols, then we tried to do a couple last week and had Skype issues. And funny enough, one of the interviews was the one we've been on and off trying to plan for
like 2 years, 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
It's like since the early days of this podcast.
Yep, exactly.
And then we finally locked it down, and then it all fell apart within 3 minutes. But
so
I'll say it was Joe Altier. It's going to happen soon enough.
Yes, definitely.
He's one of my favorite singers in the world. So this is going to happen.
Yeah, it better. But so it's just things have been a little screwy, but we're going to get back on it.
Yeah. And HolataFest happened February 9th and 10th.
Yes.
And here we are, early March, like we said, almost a month. This is an event, this was the second one here in Tulsa, put together by Steve Murdoch and Murdoch Productions. An event to celebrate the life and music of John Holata. John Holata was a guitarist here in Tulsa, well-renowned, one of those guys that everybody in the scene loved.
Yes.
Because not only was he a great dude, he is one of the best guitarists around here.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah. He was in Screaming Red Mutiny. They put out one EP with him on it, and now they've got new music now with their new guitarist, Nick. And before that, he had The Joint Effect.
Yes. And he sang in that one, too. Had an amazing voice as well.
Right. And we were fortunate enough to see their final show.
Yes, we were.
That was it. What was Billy and Renee is now Badass Renee's.
Of course.
But anyway, this event was put together, you know, to celebrate John's life. The first one, you know, all the proceeds went to help, you know, basically medical costs because his wife was involved in the accident with him. And she's just now getting back in the last few months to where, you know, she's able to walk. The second one that took place this year, all the proceeds went to their son's college fund, you know, and he's pretty young. Brought all this together, 2 days of great music. And many of the bands are bands that had members that were friends of John or somehow worked with John.
Yeah.
And then other ones were just bands that were from the area that knew him or that loved him.
Yes.
We're fortunate enough to go both years. This year, I only was able to make the first day because I shouldn't have even done that.
Yeah, you were pretty fucking sick, man.
Yeah. I was sick, and I tried to, you know, people would come up to me, shake their hand or hug him, but I try to back off a little bit. I hope I'm not the one that got Jennifer Carroll sick.
Yeah, I know.
I probably was. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've already told her sorry if it was me. By the way, that's the wife of the Jason Carroll that we mention every other episode.
Yes, who will be on this podcast one form or the other soon.
Right.
Whether he wants to or not.
So we're going to talk about some of these bands that we saw.
Yes.
There's a lot of bands both days. And like I said, I wasn't even there the second day. I had to leave early the first day. So if we don't mention a band, it's because we unfortunately didn't get to see them. But I know the first band to kick this thing off was Sovereign Dame.
Yes.
We both
I mean, they're always awesome to see.
Yeah, this is a band that we've highly praised many times.
Yeah.
And I can't express how much I want people to hear this band, whether it be recorded or live, because it's not typical to what you hear when you're listening to normal heavy rock music.
Yeah.
Because it's got that blues element to it. It's got a lot of piano in it. And then it's got her vocals that are just beyond measure.
Yeah, definitely.
And you see them live, and her voice is maybe even more powerful than it is on their recorded songs.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that people pay attention to what's going on here, because this is something that, has the potential to really take off. I mean, there's other bands like this around the country that we've talked about, like Oddfellows last week, or Be It the Means, but those bands are a little more, dirty rock and roll.
Yeah.
These guys are more just blues based.
Yeah. Yeah. What I notice when I see them playing live is, they're all four of them are having fun. They're feeding off each other. I'll always check this band out live.
And the drummer Royce was in The Joint Effect with John Holata.
That's right.
And he actually got up during the set and
said
spoke for a couple minutes there. Had a lot of good things to say. So yeah, check these guys out. Get on Reverb Nation. Get on their Facebook. Follow them. Who else did we have next?
Yeah, Skytown was next, and I've seen these guys before. It was great to see them again. These guys are, they rock, but they're super organic. They've got 3-4 guitar players sometimes. And they've just, it's like a heavy jam band.
Yeah.
That's really what I get from them, and I love that aspect. It's totally something different. The songs are well crafted, and they've got a few songs that people were running up to the front and singing every word.
Oh,
and
yeah.
for a local act, that's really fucking cool. So you need to see them.
Yeah, I was actually gone during that part because I went to pick up my girlfriend because she had a broken foot, and I had to be her ride.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that's a good excuse. But this was, you got to see this band eventually.
So Skytown's like like if Bang Camaro was a jam band, since they've got like 12 members. No.
Wow. Bang Camaro. Dude, that's a name I've not heard cross anyone's lips in quite a while.
That's a reference that only like 2 people will get that listen to this.
Life is hard on the road. Man, but anyways, yeah, I mean, believe me, Skytown's got way more going on than Bang Camaro.
Right.
Sorry guys, the inside joke kind of took over that one, but we love you guys, and you guys are awesome live. The musicianship is out of this world, and they all sing, they all take a song and stuff like that. It's a really fun show.
Yeah. So who was next? Let's Slip the Dogs?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. This was one that I saw them before, but it was one of their acoustic gigs they did at Badass Renee's like early last year. But I'd never seen them plugged in, and always heard so much great things about them from people that had. And man, like I think I told you during their set, this might be my new favorite band.
Oh man, I mean, it was like it was just this. It was fast. It was heavy. It kind of took me back. Sometimes it took me back to those, those obscure, thrashy, but kind of funky bands that Headbangers Ball would play.
Oh,
you know, I mean, which is something I fucking love. I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was like my head almost exploded. Seriously. I mean,
it was like that California stoner groove, like Caius and stuff like that,
Yeah.
That's what I always got kind of from
Yeah.
it. But just more, not more going on, but like you said, heavier maybe.
Oh man. And the musicianship, I mean, these guys were just all over the fretboard, and, Travis, the bass player, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah. And Hanson's in the, on the drum set now.
Onion Man, he's there. And I mean, dude, they just tore it up.
Yeah.
It was just like frenetic, and it was badass. It really was.
Yeah, this is a band that, I mean, we just talked about Sovereign Dame and Skytown in this band. I mean, that's like a good, and the next band we're going to talk about, that's just like a good gamut of like, what Tulsa music is, it's just, it's all over the place on the realm of rock. And I love that. Grind, was that who was next?
Yeah.
Or it might have been, Garrett Heck might have been before Grind, or was it?
I think Garrett Heck was while they were setting up Driver.
Oh, okay.
Don't see, this is the part of the evening where it gets a little hazy for me. Okay, the F5 started taking over.
Right.
So you might have to kind of carry us through here, Trent. Except I did like when Grind played and CJ's tank top would kind of go askew and you'd get a nipple shot.
Oh, yeah.
That was hot. And I know he'd like to hear that.
That's your highlight of the fest? Yeah. He could do a little kick, and then you'd see a nip.
Yes. I mean, why not?
Hashtag kicks and nips.
Paulette is a lucky woman.
Yes, she is. Well, Grind, you always know what you're going to get, which is a fucking rock and roll party.
Oh, man.
Every time we see him, it's funner than the last time.
Yeah, I mean, you're just smiling ear to ear. These guys do hard rock right. They really do.
It's great because it's just straight ahead hard rock. It's one of those things where, like, one of those bands you want to say, if people, like, say, describe it to me, you just say it's just fucking rock and roll.
Yeah, definitely.
And
that's a good thing.
Yeah. And speaking of CJ, we've talked about this many times, and
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and several times we've been like, it's going to happen in the next couple weeks. It's going to happen by the end of January. Well, obviously I lied about all that shit, but now it's going to happen because we actually have the time scheduled to record it.
Yes.
So hopefully within the next couple weeks, you'll be hearing our Kiss Every Album in a Row episode.
With CJ from Grind.
Exactly. Where we, basically the three of us, discuss the whole catalog from front to back.
So get out your copies of The Elder.
Yeah, so for those of you people like Chris from Porch Talk that hate Kiss, get ready. Because you're going to fucking listen to this. So then we had Fist of Rage. And in typical fashion, just kind of like Grind, like I just said about Grind, Fist of Rage, we've seen these guys countless times. And it's always just a great heavy rock set.
Yeah.
Everything about all four members of this band shine in their own way. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, man.
We're about to lose Josh.
I know.
Actually, I believe the show he played last week at Bartlesville was his final show with the band.
Gonna miss that dude.
Yeah, he's moving to Chicago. So I know we'll hear more music from him in another capacity. But
yes. It's
sad to see him go because he was the 13th drummer of Fist of Rage. And I really thought, you know, he's been there, a couple years now. I thought this was the...
This was going to stick.
Yeah. But yeah, Andy did this show without a costume.
Yes.
And then I believe the next show that they did, I don't know if it wasn't Bartlesville, whatever they did after that, I think it was Badass Renee's maybe.
Okay.
I saw pictures and I don't think he did there either.
Really?
So maybe this is a new...
Hey, you know, nothing wrong with doing something different, you know, trying something else.
Well, he doesn't need a costume.
And he doesn't, yeah. He's got an iron voice.
Yeah.
That, you know, it stands alone.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's got music out there, you know, where it's just him and acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And his voice really shines that way. But with Fist of Rage, of course, you get this kick-ass guitar work from Vern and the fretless bass action from Paulette, right?
There you go.
So yeah, Fist of Rage, look those guys up if you're not familiar. And of course, look them up on this podcast. We had the whole band on here. Man, that's been over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And then mid last year we did the Porch Talk episode where it was us with Porch Talk and Fist of Rage, and you can find that on YouTube. It's actually on our website, thethunderunderground.com.
That was awesome.
The link's on there. Well, and then maybe here's where we got Garrett Heck. This is, I think, the first time I've seen him. I'm not positive.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen him.
It was just him, acoustic. You know, he just went up there between two other sets.
Well, he played drums in Steam Shovel way back, and I saw that. Remember we saw that?
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But his solo performance is the first time we've seen him.
Yeah. He's just got a killer voice, acoustic guitar, just playing songs that, like, I remember he played Sober by Tool.
Oh, yeah, that was really awesome.
I can't remember what else he played, but it's just stuff like that to where you don't really think of relating to acoustic guitar, but when you've got the right voice, that stuff just comes off great.
Definitely.
And that's another guy that's kind of like, you know, before we had John Holata on the podcast, we mentioned this before that several people kept telling us, you need to get John Holata on your podcast. Yeah. Finally we did, luckily. And we've heard that a lot about Garrett Heck as well, that this is a guy you need to check out and all that. And so, yeah, check this guy out if you have not.
For sure.
Driver was up. This was the second time we've got to see him with the new vocalist.
Of course.
They're kicking ass, just like they always have.
You know it. You know how it's going to be.
Yeah, and I said this last time we saw him, his vocals, are really meld well with what they're doing. They've got so many elements going on. Those, the guitar work of, the two guitarists kind of almost bring a power metal vibe at times, but it's also real just fucking classic heavy metal.
Yeah, I know. And that to me is kind of what they're bringing, with that and then the new, Brandon in the band now. It's really, to me, it's a perfect marriage of like power metal and just kind of classic metal.
Yeah. Really looking forward to more music. They've already got some songs out with him. This band is one that just keeps pounding along. They've had vocalist changes, but it hasn't affected them. And that's what's great about this band. You've got these four guys that have really melded together, and you brought in Brandon, and it's just like a perfect marriage. And I can't wait to see where these guys go because they've been out playing all over the place. They've played, they were in the finals of that contest down in Texas and all kinds of stuff. So just really looking forward to what Driver does here in the future. Well, Forsaken Few was up, and this was one of my highlights of what I was looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Because we saw these guys way back.
Way back.
The first year of our podcast was 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Late that year, I feel like it might have been in November, if I remember right.
Oh, man.
It was late in that year. Soil played in Joplin, and we were lucky enough to have an interview with Ryan and Tim from Soil. So we went up for that show, and we got there luckily in time to see these guys who are from Joplin.
Yeah.
And just this total groove metal band. We played their song, here like a couple weeks before HolataFest. Finally got to see them again. And it's just that, that stuff that's some of my favorite things, like COC.
Yeah.
Where it's like that dirty southern kind of sound mixed with your groove metal and your stoner metal, and all that stuff just evolved into one big thing.
Yeah, that's your jam for sure.
Yeah, and Forsaken Few falls right into that vein. And it was just so good to get to see him, talk to Travis for a bit out there before their set. So yeah, look those guys up. They've got some killer music. Well, the second day.
Yes.
See, actually, we can't go without mentioning Screaming
Red
Red Mutiny was that night.
You left because you felt like shit.
Yeah.
I was there, but I wasn't there.
Right. Look, I powered through Forsaken Few because I wanted to be sure to see them. And I was going to power through Screaming Red Mutiny, but it was just at a point to where I just didn't even want to stand up or sit in a chair anymore. And, we had talked to Sprite for quite a bit earlier that day.
Yeah.
I was getting ready. I remember this. I was getting ready to leave. I'm like, look, I feel like shit. I got to go. I told you I was like, I can give you a ride. And you're like, no, I'm going to hang.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to fucking see Screaming Red Mutiny.
Yeah, I know.
And then, I got home, and then, 20 minutes later, you said, I got to get an Uber.
Yeah. I was fading. I really thought I'm going to do this. If I wasn't a fat fuck, I would have rushed the stage with my t-shirt wrapped around my head. But, not too long after you left, that the drunk warmth came over. Yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, I got to get out of here. But guys, I know you guys kicked ass, and I know that I was rocking out as long as I could. We love you guys. You guys know that.
Yeah, and speaking of Sprout, you can hear his voice, as you know that, at the end of every single episode.
Yes.
Thunder Underground, y'all. I'm not even going to try to imitate it because I can't.
Yeah. So, day 2.
Okay, day 2. I had planned to try to power through this, but I just said I just can't do this.
Wasn't happening.
And it bummed me out because I'll say straight up 13 minutes. I even mentioned that 2 or 3 times leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
How happy I was finally going to see him. And here I'm sitting a month later and I still haven't seen him.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal is me and Jason Carroll, see, there he is again. He's come up. Again, the Paul Moak of the Thunder Underground podcast. And only a couple people, probably one, maybe none. We'll get that. Anyways. So.
Does Blake Talica listen to our podcast? He might.
I hope so. He's got 48 fucking Metallica tattoos.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay. I'm getting off track here. So we go and we get there just in time for Solidify, which was awesome. You know, I really fucking love these guys. You know, they were, you know, they were heavy, but they were like accessible and catchy. But, you know, live, they had a real good, heavy, organic, natural kind of thing going on. And, you know, the singer had a James Hetfield signature guitar, so I loved that.
Right.
You know, he's also a super powerful singer. You know, everybody in that band is great. The drummer's nuts. You know, I really liked them, and I can't wait to see what they do next, you know. But, you know, if you like good hard rock, I mean, this is your band right here. Solidify was great.
Yeah, I got the chance to meet Steven from the band at that show we went to at the beginning of the year where Grind played at Blackbird on Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
Because they played earlier that night when we were over watching
Okay.
Driver.
Gotcha.
But,
yeah, that night. Gotcha, yeah.
Where was I going? Oh, yeah. They have a brand new single, which has not been released yet,
Yes.
called Insomnia. And they kind of mentioned that in a post that they made a day or two ago.
Yes.
That they're kind of doing this backwards than most people, where they've put it out to a couple like online radio stations or FM radio stations where they've played the track once or twice, and they've let people know when it would play.
Yeah.
And then that's it, you know. Then you got to wait till the next time.
That's cool.
And I think the Precious Metal show on Rock Rage Radio played it, and I saw. Anyway, they sent us the song. You know, we put down our thoughts, and they posted that on their website, solidifyrocks.com. So go check that out. And then we're going to be playing it here in a couple weeks once it hits.
Definitely.
And they've got a video for it coming out here in a couple weeks.
That's awesome.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, you got to check Solidify out for sure.
Yeah.
Up next was Enslaved by Fear, new singer. So I was kind of interested to see how this was.
Right.
I think he did a great job. You know, he can do the brutal stuff. He can sing. It seemed to gel pretty famously. You know, I know Jason was digging the guitar work. You know, he kind of thought their guitar player had kind of a, you know, his solos were a little Mustaine-y.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of see that, you know. He had a real just ripping, raw, balls out kind of style. And so, I mean, yeah, Enslaved by Fear, you know, they pulled it out.
That's cool because, you know, yeah, just like you, I was wondering if, not going to say there would be a fall off, but if it would be an easy transition because, you know, Brax had such a powerful voice.
Oh, yeah.
So it's cool to hear that it's smooth and it sounds fucking great, you know?
Exactly. Less Than Human were next, and I mean, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know where to start. I mean, these guys, you know,
the goddamn Jewel of Tulsa.
I'm telling you, it's like something. It's just exploding. You know, I mean, there's no words to describe. You know, when the four of these guys get together, I mean, it's just heavy metal insanity. They tore the stage up. It was a gig like, you know, well, this is our last gig, so let's just play the shit out of it. That's how they play every fucking gig. And I mean, you really feel like you're watching a national band. I mean, it's just, you know, and they've got the road work under their belts, you know. I mean, these guys they've got the youth, you know, everything is lining up, and it's just, once again, it was just awesome to see these guys. They completely crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a band that not might go places. This band has to go places.
Yeah, I mean, they will. I mean, it's just reckless abandon, you know, 24/7 with this band. Less Than Human. If you haven't heard them yet, I feel sorry for you. You got to check them out.
Yeah, and you need to look up YouTube videos because seeing them live is what puts it over the top.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. The live show is where it's at. I mean, you're not going to stand still. You're going to pick up a chair and throw it at somebody. I mean, that's just going to fucking happen.
Right.
So, you know, love those guys. Can't go on about them enough. Machine in the Mountain was next. Same fucking deal. I mean, it's just like a gigantic fucking rolling distortion machine coming right at you. I mean, everything was on point. I mean, their personas, match up. It's just insane. Joe had some guitar issues with his amp, and, big deal, no problem. Somebody else just threw another amp up there, and they just kept going. I mean, there's just professionalism. These guys are tight as a dolphin's ass. I mean, that combination of Less Than Human and Machine in the Mountain, I mean, I just, squashed my balls into oblivion. Machine in the Mountain, they were just as great. I mean, they're on point. The solos, the rhythms. I mean, it's just insane. I felt really lucky to see those two bands back to back like that.
Yes. I've said before that this is a band that when you watch them live, every single guy in that band commands your attention.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, definitely.
It's weird. You get lost, and realize you've been staring at one dude for 3 minutes.
And you really like staring at dudes too, so it works.
Yeah, exactly. And then you realize, oh shit, there's other dudes on the stage. And then you stare at them for 3 minutes because it's just all four of them just are fucking powerful at what they're doing. And it's just without sounding dorky, it's fucking magic.
Yeah, it's insane.
And they've got several EPs now. Just listen to them, it's just instrumental progressive metal at its finest.
Oh man, hands down. And that, we were pretty, from the whole weekend, we were pretty partied out. And we got out of there.
All in all, successful as hell.
Oh man, yeah. And hats off to Steve Murdoch, for all the work he puts into this thing and all the other shows and everything he does. I mean, this is just, this is most of this is thanks to him. And, so yeah, definitely a big old pat on the back.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you're going to be hearing more about him.
Yes.
In the coming, here in a bit actually.
Yes, definitely.
In the coming weeks, because he's got something cooking at Rocklahoma, I think.
Oh yeah, nice. So I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, let's play some music.
Yeah.
Speaking of HolataFest, I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Let's Slip the Dogs, but anyway, we were hanging out. Someone comes up and puts their arms around her shoulders, turn around, and it was Ira Wilton. From
good old Ira.
Yeah. Formerly of the Badass Forever and Disgust.
Yes.
That's how we've got to know him. Well, he's part of a new band called Skysha. I believe I'm saying that right. Skysha.
That'll work.
Here out of the Tulsa area.
I'll let you say it.
Yeah. Well, here's a brand new track from him called Leecher.
Strike me down, I doubt you.
Leecher from Skyja, right here out of the Tulsa area. In fact, I know their home base, or at least where they rehearse and everything's not far from us here at the Thunder Underground compound.
I know. They're just over the railroad tracks there, I think.
Yeah, Ira's actually told us to come by a couple times in the past, so hopefully we can do that here in the coming weeks.
We should go over there and shake up a bunch of beers and open them and spray them while they're practicing.
Yeah, that would be a good time. That seems like something Skyja would love. To have just beer sprayed everywhere while they're fucking...
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Raging. Yeah. Fucking that song's badass.
Yeah, I mean, this is... If you like your stuff fucking heavy as shit.
Well, here you go.
I don't even know how to explain it, but it's got a groove and, it's memorable to me.
Yeah, well, I like the vocals. There's like so many different attitudes in the vocals. So many different styles,
Yeah.
So that, it really mixes it up.
Yeah, check this out. They've got a YouTube video up. Follow them on Facebook. It's Skyja, SKYSIA.
You got it.
What's up next? The We Are Tulsa Music Awards was this past weekend. Unfortunately, neither of us were able to make it. We're out of town. From what I could tell, this looked like it was one hell of a successful event.
Like a good time, yeah.
And I just got to give a shout out to Roger from We Are Tulsa Music. He's been doing that website, all that stuff for quite a while, and this was his vision, and he busted some ass and made this happen. And I know Mugen Music with Ryan had a lot to do with helping him pull all this together. They did it at Whiskey 918. Tons of categories that spanned the gamut of Tulsa music. It's not just what we're talking about here, which is heavy rock and roll and metal. They had awards for everything: country, rap, gospel, even stuff like clubs and DJs and whatever. But we wanted to give a shout out to, some of the bands that won that we have played here on the podcast, which is Less Than Human, who we just gave some praise to.
Yeah, they got like 3 awards, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe they were nominated for 3 awards, and they swept all 3.
I'm telling you, Less Than Human, again. Listen up, people.
Yeah, if there was a band around here that should be sweeping award categories, it's Less Than Human.
That's right.
And Scream Red Mutiny also hauled in an award.
Yes.
And Steve Murdoch, I believe, got the award for Best Promoter, which is, like you said earlier.
Because he is.
Yeah. Unbelievably.
We love that guy.
Deserved for that guy.
Yes. We need to have him back on.
Yeah.
It's been like way fucking too long.
It's been 2.5 years probably, because he was one of the early guests.
Yes. Yeah, we need to do this again.
So definitely. We've been thinking about it and talking about it, and I'm like, well,
let's just put it up on the vision board now, Trent.
Yeah. Vision 2018, Steve Murdoch. But yeah, we had HolataFest here, and then we've got Rocklahoma coming, so there's a lot to talk about with Steve.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a million other things we could talk about with Steve, because
definitely
he's a great dude to talk to. But yeah, we got those guys, and then we've talked about this before in the past whenever there's been like things where, like Battle of Bands or these voting things.
Yeah.
With award shows or not really shows, but awards, all that kind of thing. It's like sometimes it gets a little shitty, and, bands, just start complaining, and there's infighting and all kinds of crap. And I'd like to say that I didn't see any of that with this, which is cool. And don't take this as any of that, of course. We were nominated for an award. We were one of the finalists. But I would just like to say that I thought, it's cool if we would have won, but it doesn't bother me it didn't. But what bothers me is that Porch Talk with Chris and Laura didn't win. Because we kind of mentioned this to ourselves.
We talked about
leading up to it. Right? Is that the best way to say this?
The category was, best music source, I think, that's...
Yeah, for the Tulsa area.
Yes, and, focusing on Tulsa, Chris and Laura have that covered in spades. I really wish they would have got it.
Yeah, on lockdown, the best source of Tulsa music
is
Porch Talk. And, right. We've always taken pride in, like we just played Skyja. We've got another band coming up here in a second, playing bands from Tulsa. We have on tons of bands from the Tulsa area for interviews. And then even on the episodes where we're interviewing someone that's not from Tulsa or playing bands that's not from Tulsa, we usually mention something.
Yes.
But what Porch Talk does is 95% of everything they do
Yes.
is to lift up the Tulsa music scene. So
Exactly.
that to me is the best source of Tulsa music. Just going to put that out there.
All hail Porch Talk.
One of the categories was Single of the Year.
Yes.
And it was actually a tie between Had Enough and Grind.
Okay.
And right now, we're going to play Grind. Because we played this track before, but I just want to play it again because it's just so fantastic.
It's a great fucking song. You gotta hear it.
And it's just, they did a great job of writing one of those songs that, what's the word, earworm? Gets stuck in your head?
Ear candy.
Ear candy, yeah. Yeah, for days it's stuck in your head until you hear some other song that's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
But anyway, check this out. This is Grind, Bridges.
Never at peace, and our conscience clear.
Bridges from Grind. That's just one of their many fantastic songs.
Yes.
As we mentioned earlier, CJ from Grind is going to be on here pretty soon, within the next couple weeks, talking through Kiss's entire discography.
Every album in a row.
Speaking of Kiss, Gene Simmons has been on this podcast.
Yes, he has. So's Bruce Kulick. But Gene Simmons, yeah.
But more importantly than both those, CJ McClellan will be back on this podcast for a third time.
You know it.
But yeah, there you go. Bridges, one of the 2 top singles in Tulsa for the year 2017.
And we're
from the
happy.
Weird Tulsa Music Awards.
Yeah, and we're happy to just now put that song in your ear and it'll never leave.
That's right. Well, something that just came out here in this past week was Sonny Mayo,
Yes.
who is a man that has been in 2 of my favorite bands of all time,
Yeah.
Ugly Kid Joe and Seven Dust.
Yes.
And he was in Snot too,
Snot.
right?
He was in Snot, yeah.
And Snot's a great underrated band. Well, fuck, Seven Dust and Ugly Kid Joe are pretty underrated when you consider the grand scheme of things.
Both those fucking bands should be way popular than they are.
Yeah.
Don't get me started, especially Ugly Kid Joe.
Yeah.
People, God damn it, people lump them in with hair bands, and it's such bullshit.
And then it can go the other way for Seven Dust. People would lump them in with new metal or something.
And they're way, way more expansive than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. That could be a whole other episode. It should be.
Yeah. I think we've gone through that before.
Yeah, I'm sure
when John
we have.
Connolly was on his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Like my random plug there. But the point of this is Sonny had a heart attack about 1.5 years ago, got some treatment, and then ended up having another heart attack here in January.
Yeah.
He said it was due to a response from having the flu or something, and it was related to the previous thing he got, and long, complicated thing here I can't really explain. But he's getting some treatment done, which isn't covered by insurance, and so he posted a GoFundMe.
Yes.
And we just wanted to give a shout out for that. You can go to GoFundMe and search Sonny Mayo. That's just MAYO.
That's right. Help him out. It's what I remember reading is it's a genetic disorder, and even though he's living he's clean, sober, vegan, works out, he still had another heart attack, and so that's a pretty shitty hand to be dealt. So help him out for sure.
Yeah, especially when you're doing all the right things.
Exactly.
So yeah, and the newest Ugly Kid Joe album from about, I guess it was the year before last by now, is fucking great.
Yeah.
So check that out.
Everything they do is great.
Yeah. But Sonny's been on, the last 2 releases.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the type of thing. Anytime I see things like this, if it's someone I know or even someone I don't, when someone posts it, you just go on these things and donate $1. It sounds like nothing, but in the grand scheme of things, if several thousand people are donating $1, there you go. There's several $1,000s,
Exactly. Well, and I noticed they're almost halfway there, and the thing hadn't even been up that long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, hopefully they'll make it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. So, yeah, GoFundMe, and just search Sonny, SONNY, Mayo. Well, let's play some more music.
Let's do it.
We got a band here called Into Existence out of Kansas City. And this is actually one of the early bands that, I guess you kind of do a review on before we even started the podcast, I believe.
Okay.
Back before we started the podcast, we had the Facebook page and an Instagram page where we would just, post some bands, do short reviews about them, that kind of stuff. And this was one of the ones you had come across and we talked about. Well, they came to Tulsa here this past month. That was actually, I think, while I was sick.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is, they've got new music, and this track is called Dissension.
My pretty little girl, can you figure it out? I'm trying to make it clear so there is no doubt. Never been a better way to understand. Never been a better way to make you listen. It's love now been done over with the God. Neither one of us should be the other one's right. If I'm not making myself perfectly clear, I think it's time you just go. Go! Far away! Go! Go! As far as you can, I know. Just a matter of time. Sooner or later you'll be coming back again. You told me once, you told me twice, you told me 3 times. Never took the time it takes to read between the lines. If I can get my head on my ass just like you, I can finally see the things from your point of view. I can't rest until you are gone. I'll find peace with you under the lawn. It's not safe for you when you're here. Murder's all I think about.
Dissension from Into Existence out of Kansas City. You can find that on any of the streaming services, Reverb Nation, Bandcamp, all that stuff.
Definitely. That's barn burner of a track, isn't it?
Yeah, barn burner is a good word.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things, you know, you hit play like you do on any song. You know, you're ready to kind of soak in what's about to happen if you hadn't heard it before. And then you don't even have time to soak it in before it's just fucking hitting you in the face.
Yeah, it like startled me. It scared, it jumped a little bit. My fat jiggled.
You know what? The first thing that popped in my mind was after it started was the first time 22 years ago when I was sitting in my car and I heard the Great Southern Trendkill for the first time. And it just like did that and then it just went into it. And like, I'm not saying this sounds like that song, but it gave me that same kind of reaction.
Yeah.
And hey, if it gives you a reaction like Pantera did, you know these guys are doing something right.
Yeah, you're doing something good. You're doing something that we like for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, just get on there and check these guys out. They've got several songs. Just a great band out of Kansas City.
Brutal stuff.
Hope they're able to make it back to Tulsa here, you know, sometime soon.
Definitely.
Well, we wanted to give a shout out to Sexy T. Todd Strange, the bass player for the Mighty Crowbar.
Yes.
And Tessa Terror from Tri-County Terror.
Yes.
They got married this past weekend.
That's like a heavy metal, a perfect heavy metal union.
Yeah. You know how they say things are unholy unions? This is like a holy union of heavy metal.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Strange has been back in Crowbar now for, what, maybe a year and a half?
I think a little longer than that.
Well, it was actually whenever the last time we had Kirk Winstein on the podcast, that was like literally one of the first few shows after he had been back.
Yes.
And now we can say that Todd Strange is the only member of the current lineup of Crowbar who has not been on our podcast.
That's right.
Because on that episode, the two other guys were on there as well.
Yeah, and he was tired. He just like got in his bunk and went to sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they posted a bunch of pictures on Facebook and on Instagram of the wedding. You know, Kirk and Robin were there. Of course, the whole band was there. Tommy. It looked like one of those badass weddings, you know, where you just like looked like a good time.
I know. Well, congrats to them for sure. You know, we love Crowbar. We love Tri-County Terror. You know, go back and check out our past episodes with Crowbar. Awesome stuff, really.
Yeah, and everybody knows Crowbar, so if you don't listen to them, you're an asshole. But you might not know Tri-County Terror.
And you should.
They're more relatively new.
They fucking rule.
Yeah, they're a band out of Dallas, Texas, who just fucking kick ass. So just get on Facebook, Spotify, whatever. Check these guys out. If you like your stuff heavy, raw, and in your face, you're going to love some Tri-County Terror.
Definitely.
We got anything else that we need to discuss?
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some stuff coming up, like we've mentioned a couple of times already on this episode. Our deal with CJ, talking about Kiss, every album in a row, which is something we did quite a bit of, but haven't done
in a while.
For quite a while.
Get that going, yeah.
Yeah, we've did these episodes with Ozzy, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, Motley Crue. I think that covers it.
Yeah.
Van Halen.
Yes, we did Van Halen, yeah.
So we've got, you know, most of the heavy hitters. We got Kiss. You know, I guess we still need to get some Def Leppard and maybe Aerosmith or Black Sabbath to get all the big guys done. But yeah, it's just something where we just discuss a band's catalog from, you know, we don't discuss every single song, but we kind of discuss the albums as they flow, and if there's anything that just like jumps out as weird when you hear a discography from start to finish.
Just reflect back over the catalog.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, currently all those episodes are only on YouTube, but I'm going to make an effort here in the next few weeks after the Kiss one comes up.
Nice.
To make sure all these just end up on everything else, like, because all our podcasts are on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, basically anywhere podcasts are heard.
Yeah.
So I want to get those up there because they've been there on YouTube exclusive for a while now, so there's no point in that anymore, right?
Yeah, true. Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so we got that coming. Like I mentioned, hopefully here in the coming weeks you'll hear from Joe Altier, who, if you remember the band Brand New Sin, He was a part of that.
That band smoked.
Yeah, and he's got some amazing stuff going on now, like Elephant Mountain and all his solo stuff. Then we've got other stuff coming as well that we'll talk about once it happens.
Yes, definitely.
But go back. We've got 159 previous episodes. Like I said, soundcloud.com/Thunder-Underground, iTunes, Google Music, wherever you listen to it. Get on there, hit like, comment, all that great stuff. It helps out. We've had episodes with, like we said earlier, John Connolly of Seven Dust. We've had on guys from Kiss, Megadeth, Warrant, Shinedown, Seven Dust, or I just said Seven Dust.
Yeah.
But Drowning Pool, King, Saving Abel, Battlecross, Europe, Corrosion and Conformity, The Obsessed.
And a lot of these local guys that we've been talking about, Grind, Less Than Human, Steve Murdoch,
Machine in the Mountain.
Machine in the Mountain.
13 Minutes. Jamie Kaczynski's been on here before. We've had on, who else did we mention earlier at HolataFest? Oh, well. Scream Red Mutiny, of course.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sprout's been on here 3 times.
Yes.
But yeah, 100. If you like this and you like some episodes and you're new to the game, you've got hours worth of catching up to do.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do.
Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and what's the final one? Grindr.
Oh, God.
Get on patreon.com, become a patron.
Yeah, we would love that. We need a patron or two.
Look, you can send a few bucks a month. We'll use that money to buy some beer.
Yeah.
Then after we drink the beer, we'll use the leftover money to pay for the podcast.
Yeah. Right now, everyone who pledges $1 gets one of my beard hairs. I'll mail it to you.
Is it a single beard hair or like a clump?
A single one. I mean, I got to keep this thing looking fresh, yo.
Okay.
And I get to keep the gray ones. That's what the ladies like.
Yeah.
Because they're just banging my door down, let me tell you.
Because it gives you a little bit aura of class.
Class, distinguished. It goes great with my gym shorts.
Right. All right. Well, on that note, until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.